I'm in Shenandoah National Park in the Northern District, and this is the Mathews Arm Campground. When you come in right over there, there's the check-in area where you pay if you're camping. You can go by there and turn to the right and come up here into this parking lot. This is trailhead parking here. There's my little red car. This is about mile marker 22. Nice big parking area here. And I am going to be hiking a big loop in this area today. I don't know, 6 or 8 miles, something like that. And the first part of my, I'm going to get my car closed up, and I'm going to be heading over that way to the left to see if I can find the Knob Mtn Trailhead. I'm not exactly sure where it is, so I may wander around a bit. The elevation here is 2725. That's a bear trap. So they've been having problems with bears up here in the campground. 2/10 of a mile into my hike. I'm parked back up, that's the way I came from. And when you come down here, I'm not 100% sure this is it, but that looks like it just loops around in a big circle. So I'm going to take this one that says Service Road Do Not Block and follow this for a ways and see if this gets me to the Knob Mtn Trail. Let's see what happens. Yeah, so High Skill Hollow Trail is up there at that concrete signpost, but you go past that, another 100 yards down here is the Knob Mtn Trail. So this is our trail right here. We're going to head off this in this direction. And the gravel road continues on down here and it ends down there. There's some sort of a big building down there making a lot of noise. I have to look that up. That might be some kind of like sewage treatment facility or something for the campground. But anyway, we're going to turn left here and hike along the ridge of Knob Mountain until we reach a cutoff trail in a couple miles. .3 miles into my hike. The elevation here is 2530. And this is a little saddle area. That's where I'm headed. And maybe you can see this is a saddle area. This is pretty flat in through here. There's where it came from. And there's more flatness over there, so you'd have to clear out a little bit of brush, but you could make this work, especially for hammock camping like I like to do. So anyway, I'm just going to continue on this way It's about another 8/10 of a mile to the cutoff trail. When I get to the cutoff trail, I'm going to be turning left and we're going to head down into the canyon. This canyon here that you've been seeing in the pictures forms the headwaters of Jeremy's Run. Jeremy's Run is a nice hike, by the way. I've got a couple videos on it. I hiked it in 2 different sections, 2 different years. So if you're interested in Jeremy's Run, we'll be crossing the headwaters down here in a little ways, a couple miles. .3 miles into my hike. The elevation here is 2260. That's the way I was headed. If you continue on that way, this Knob Mountain Trail goes on for miles and miles, and it's a real nice hike. So if you look on my YouTube channel, you will see, let's see, 2 different hikes to Knob Mountain. One of them I actually came up this way. This is the Knob Mountain Cutoff Trail. You come up from Jeremy's Run up here to this signpost and turn left and head on up that way. Another couple miles is the summit, and then it continues down the west side of the mountain for probably 4 or 5 more miles. Real nice trail. Kind of steep in places though. So we're gonna turn left here. This is Knob Mountain Cutoff Trail. And just over that hill there, we're going to start descending fairly sharply, fairly steeply into the canyon down to Jeremy's Run. We'll eventually cross the headwaters of Jeremy's Run. And eventually we're going to climb up the other side of the mountain over there. And we'll pass the Elk Wallow Wayside. I'll show you that when we get there. Here's what the trail looks like where I came from. It's a real nice trail. So let's hang a left here and start descending down to Jeremy's Run. Up here at the intersection where I just turned off, here's what's left of an old stacked stone fence. There's a chipmunk up there on that tree. I don't know if you can see him or not. Anyway, and the stone wall goes way on up the side of the hill there. So people obviously lived up here once upon a time. So here we go, down the side of the mountain down to Jeremy's Run. .8 miles into my hike. I'm down to 1,890 feet elevation. And here's the headwaters of Jeremy's Run. That's looking upstream. Here's the crossing right here. Maybe you can see that tree over there. It's got a blue blaze on it. Trail goes right over there. Not much water flowing at the moment. A few years ago when I hiked across here though, I couldn't get across without tiptoeing across those dead trees there. I had to use those dead trees to get across this section here because it was so much water flowing down through there. There's where it came from. So now that I'm down to here, I got to turn around and climb back up to get back up to Skyline Drive, and we're going to climb even higher than that. .6 miles into my hike. I'm up to 2,200 feet. It's been a pretty steep climb so far. I'm still on Jeremy's Run Trail, but I stepped off the trail because I saw this beaten path back to this spot. Nice little camp spot here on this little knoll. Wow, pretty nice. Check it out. There's space here for tents, hammocks, the whole 9 yards. And come back this way, I'll show you what the trail looks like coming back into here. There's a trail coming back in here. It's maybe 1/10 of a mile off the Jeremy's Run Trail. So I'll mark this on the old trusty GPS. .7 miles into my hike. The elevation here is 2220, and here's where I came from. It's the Jeremy's Run Trail, and right down there, just a little ways, is that turnoff to that little camping area. When you come up this way, you'll see this signpost. This is the Appalachian Trail, and that way's heading southbound, but we're going to go to the left and head north on the Appalachian Trail. 3.8 miles into my hike. I'm up to 2250. Right out there's the Appalachian Trail heading north to the right, which is where I'm headed. And these signposts with the yellow bands is spring water. Here's the spring here. Nice flow. See if I can come down here without busting my ass. Let's see what we got here. Oh man, that is cold water. Wow. Woo-wee. Cold. Real nice. So if you're in this area, here's your water source right here. .1 miles into my hike. I'm up to 2360 elevation, and I stepped off the Appalachian Trail to come up here, and I'll walk through the Elk Wallow picnic area so you can see what that looks like. It's real nice. But down there's the Appalachian Trail and Jeremy's Run Trail. There's a vault style toilet there. I'm going to be heading up that way to get up to Skyline Drive from here. And the picnic area is over here. I'll get some still pictures. It's a big parking area here, and then a loop coming off Skyline Drive and looping around the picnic area and back out to Skyline Drive. So maybe you can see that picnic table there. So I'll walk up this way and skip this short section of the AT. Here's part of the Elk Wallow picnic area. They got grills, picnic tables. In the warmer months, there is bathrooms with running water over there. I don't know if there's drinking water, but there's running water for the commodes. There's more picnic area down that way. So I'm going to head on up this way, up to Skyline Drive, and turn left, and head north along Skyline Drive until I find the Appalachian Trail again. Okay, so right down there on the left is where I turned off on that little service road to nowhere. And up this way on the right is the Appalachian Trail. So this is where I should have been to begin with. Alright, looks pretty steep, so guess I better get cracking. We got some climbing to do to get up to the Range View Cabin. .6 miles into my hike. I'm up to 2910 elevation. Whew. And stepped off the Appalachian Trail here because I saw this little side trail coming over here under this stand of pines. Real nice camping spot here. Lots of pine needles on the ground. You got some trees there for hammocks. I see some tent stakes that somebody left in the ground down there. And there's a little trail coming down here from the AT. So I'll mark this one. This one's pretty nice. And this is within about 1/10 of a mile of Range View Cabin. And there's a spring up there, a reliable spring for water. Okay, here's another camp spot. Just a short distance away from the other one that I just showed you. This one's 100 yards closer to the cabin, and it's right off the AT. There's the AT down there. I'll mark this one. .8 miles into my hike. The elevation here is 2880, and this is the Range View Cabin. It was built in the 1930s, and you can rent it from the Potomac Appalachian Trail Club, PATC. It's real nice. John and I did an overnighter here. Got the cabin there. Down that way is the outhouse. Over there, where that concrete marker is the spring. And that's the access road it came down on. The Appalachian Trail's up there about 1/10 of a mile. So I think I'm going to, since it's almost noon, I think I'm going to sit there on that stump and eat what little lunch I brought and drink some water. Don't know if you can read that or not, but it says A.H. Sisk, S-I-S-K, 1933. Maybe that's who built the place. There's an outdoor fireplace here, which is nice in the fall. You can sit out here, build yourself a fire, and then inside there is a freestanding wood-burning stove. So here's what it looks like from the front porch. Down there's the spring. I guess they come down here from time to time and cut the grass down, knock down the grass some so it doesn't get too tall here. Over there's your sawhorse for cutting up dead wood to burn. That power line doesn't supply any power here, but it carries, I followed it up along the Appalachian Trail. It takes power down to the Elk Wallow Wayside. So, I'm going to finish drinking some water. I'll go down there and get a picture of the spring so you can see what that's like. Normally that spring is just gushing water, so keep that in mind. And then I'm going to head on back up towards Skyline Drive. I guess it's maybe a half a mile or so up to Skyline Drive. Got to cross Skyline Drive and then another couple tenths of a mile down the Mathews Arm access road back to my car. Okay, so up there's the cabin, and here's the spring box right here. It's not flowing a whole lot today. It kind of surprises me, but anyway, we are getting some flow. So there you go. So I'm going to head back up here to the left and head on up the service road. Next stop is the Piney River Ranger Station. .5 miles into my hike. I'm up to 3,060 feet elevation. This is probably the peak elevation of my hike. There's where I came from. Down there a little ways, the fire road goes from being like a dirt road to paved. There's a ranger station down there, Piney River Ranger Station. And right here is a place where you can park your car overnight. If you're going to rent the cabin, you park your car here. It's about mile marker 22. Skyline Drive's right out there. Come in here, park your car, take this first left where it says Piney River Ranger Station to go down there and bear to the right on the old fire road. Takes you right down to the cabin. This is one of the old original buildings from the 1930s. It's in need of repair. They had a sign down here a couple years ago asking for help to help save it. I don't see any help, so this thing may eventually get torn down, unfortunately. I'll get a couple still pictures of it and a picture of the sign asking for help. This is a map of today's hike. There's two quadrangle maps taped together. The upper portion is Bentonville, 1994. That covers down to here where it changes color. And then south of there is Thornton Gap, 1994. This red line is Skyline Drive. And right here at about mile marker 22 at Skyline Drive, if you're coming down from the north, you would as soon as you come around this bend, you'll see on the right hand side a sign that says Mathews Arm Campground. So you turn onto that road, and this is the access road down to the campground. When you get down to about here, there's a check-in station for campers. But you can drive past the check-in station and turn right, and there's a parking lot. There's a large parking lot right here, trailhead parking. So you can park right here. And then from there, you hike down this way to the left, and you just keep following this road until eventually you'll get to a spot where the road ends down here. I believe, I drew this in myself here. I believe this is might be a sewage treatment station down here. Just before that, you'll see a wooden sign that says Knob Mtn Trail. And so you veer off to the left and hike this trail. Now this is just an old mountain road that was here before the park was formed. This stretch right in through here, the side of the mountain's pretty steep, but the road is in good condition. And you follow this on down until you get to right here. Now, Knob Mtn Trail continues on south for 4 or 5 miles probably, and I've hiked the entire length of this Knob Mtn Trail now. I have some other videos out on my YouTube channel for Knob Mountain, so you can check them out. Anyway, when you get to here, there is a concrete signpost that tells you to turn left on Knob Mtn Cutoff Trail. So you turn left here, and this trail wasn't actually drawn on this map. It's actually got quite a few, it's got some zigzags and switchbacks and stuff, but I just sort of traced it in down to here. When you get down to here, you will cross the headwaters of Jeremy's Run. This is Jeremy's Run. And this trail down through here is Jeremy's Run Trail. And this is also a nice hike down Jeremy's Run. I hiked this in two stages. And I have Jeremy's Run hikes on my YouTube channel if you look for those. Anyway, you cross over the headwaters of Jeremy's Run, and then you follow Jeremy's Run Trail up this mountain here. Now, when you get to here, this is where this is the Appalachian Trail, and so this is where the Appalachian Trail runs into. The Jeremy's Run becomes the Appalachian Trail right here. Now, just before here, right in this area here, there is a spring on this side. And over here, there used to be a shelter, but it was dismantled decades ago. But the spring's still there, still flowing pretty good. So from here on, you're on the Appalachian Trail. Oh, here's the shelter right here, sorry. This is shown on the map, but it doesn't exist anymore. This shelter is no longer there, okay? So you continue on up this way. Now the AT continues on up to Skyline Drive and crosses right here. But what I did was I got off the AT here and came up this paved road to show you, this is the picnic area, the Elk Wallow picnic area. So I came up here and then turned left on Skyline Drive, and then right here is the Elk Wallow Gap wayside. They have a gas station there. I think they sell like RV and camping related goods. Then I got on the Appalachian Trail, which is this trail right here, and followed this on up the side of the mountain like this until you get to here. Now when you get to here, it runs into the access road to the Rangeview cabin. You turn right and you go down here maybe a tenth of a mile, and this empties out right here where the Rangeview cabin is. Now that's a nice cabin. It was built sometime in the 1930s, and I've got a video of my brother John and I staying here overnight on my YouTube channel. So then I ate lunch here, and then I came back up the fire road all the way up to here. Now when you get up to here, this is the Piney River Ranger Station, and up here is where you park your car if you're going to rent the Rangeview cabin from PATC. This is where you'll park your car, up here. So then from here I went back out to Skyline Drive, and then you head south on Skyline Drive for a couple hundred yards, and then you'll see the sign to turn right to Mathews Arm Campground, and then this is a downhill hike all the way down about 6-7 of a mile, all the way back down here to the check-in point and to my car. So that was the hike for today. This was a nice hike. The leaves are coming off the trees now, so like for example this hike that was up fairly high along this ridge, you've got a pretty good view. You're starting to get, you know, pretty nice views now. And I just crossed Jeremy's Run down here, but if you actually follow Jeremy's Run trail on down here a mile or so, that's real nice down in there also. The picnic area is nice. I've had picnics there before. They have grills and bathrooms and stuff there. They have some bathrooms here at the Elk Wallow Gap. At the Rangeview cabin, there's a nice spring. And if you're into RV type camping, this Mathews Arm, I took a drive through here. This road goes on up and goes around up here a ways into 2 or 3 different loops where you can pull in your RVs and stuff. I didn't see a whole lot of campsites up there that look like pads for tents. It looks like it's mostly catering to the RV and camper van, you know, type clientele. But anyway, this is a real nice hike. I had estimated 6 miles, but I think it ended up being more like 7. So good hike. And that was the hike for today.